the other thing that's moving on. Regarding faith, this is it. This is perfect. From nothing, who I am is the bridging of religions. As all doors lead to God, and all gods, and all of us are. So, blown away over here. I wanted to email that to you, but I didn't do it. So I promised myself and I didn't do it again. So I will be emailing this week.
Good.
Okay? Because that's so much over. Yes.
Can I make a request that someone check their email list for this seminar?
And I don't think I really did.
Please raise your hand if you've not been getting emails, because I promise I've sent you. Okay, can you get Richard, I need these names.
Okay.
Who's ever got their hand up, I need your names because I will check and make sure you're on it. My secretary made it up this time. Maybe I should have done it myself. Yeah, you can take the last. Sure, just send me an email. And that's the other thing. Yeah, she doesn't want to hold up her hands for half an hour. Mine is life motivation. That's the other thing you can do. Or you can write an email. You can always send me an email. That's what Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, yeah, thank you, Sally. Any other integrity or housekeeping issues? You're not getting them?
No, ma'am.
Okay, there's confusion. Somebody said raise your hand and then said put them down and did anybody get on?
Did you get on?
Raise your hand again. Raise the hand.
Just raise it a little bit.
How about if we just pass the notebook up and down the road and they put our names?
All right, that's fine. Great, I accept. Yes.
I have a request of everybody in the group. I would ask that when we come through the door, we turn our cell phones on vibrate. I know anybody who's in school or in a business, when we walk into a meeting, we put our cell phones on vibrate. And I would just ask that everybody here commit to doing that as well. You know, it's not an unreasonable request, or it is an unreasonable. Thanks. Is there anybody here who's not willing to take that on? So everybody's willing to take that on? Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other housekeeping integrity issues to bring up? Anybody feel like they're out of integrity with their assignments again? I know. You know it's never ending, right? It's okay. Who would like to get up and share about the assignment and the doing or the not, or now the not doing? The not doing of assignments. The lack of integrity.
I did it, but I did it all in 30 minutes.
I'm sorry?
I did it all at the last minute in 30 minutes this morning.
That's, you did it. You did it. Kirk's count. He had a huge breakthrough. You just do well under pressure. There was a group of you that agreed to email me or text me 24 hours before after they, yeah, I know. You know, you can't even remember all the things you've given your word to, right? Much less do it all. I mean, really, especially, yeah. That's my bracket. That's right, okay. So all I would ask is that you get that complete with your group, okay? And then from now on, I'm going to ask the group leaders to take over that so you're not worried about it. And just make sure that the assignments are done. Thank you very much. Let's see. So, I have an integrity issue also to clean up with you guys. It's mine, okay? And that was regarding my request for that assignment. Because my coach got a hold of me and said, were you? I said, nobody called me back. Nobody sent me an email or text. They said they would. He said, they were just yesing you. And you didn't get it. I said, they were just yesing me. Yeah, because you didn't mean it. So I have to clean up with you that I didn't mean it. why would you say yes? So you said yes, not meaning it, because I made the request, not meaning it.
What request?
See, you didn't even get it. For those who did not complete the assignment from session 2, I asked them to take it on like your life's at stake. It's not true. But on the other hand, it really could be. Because the way you do anything in life is the way you do everything in life. So not that the assignment has any great importance at all for anything, except it's a tiny slice of your life. So regarding the assignment, I'd asked those who had not completed it with integrity to complete it within, I think it was 24 hours. 24 or 48, something like that. And to either email or text me, email me that you had done so. And I don't know, about 6 people raised their hands. We didn't take them. And then I just assumed it was handled. The fact of the matter is I don't like being told what to do. And I don't like telling people what to do. Because I don't like being told what to do. And one of my biggest payoffs in my rackets is avoid domination. That is the sweetest one in the world for me. That's one I use more than any. All right? So what I have to clean up with you is that I did not do that with the love and commitment it needed to impact you over there. So of course I didn't get a response back. And what my coach told me was this. Don't do anything you don't love. Don't do it. Don't do it. And if you have to do it, you sit down and love it first, whether you love it or not. Yeah. Yeah, it is tricky. It is tricky. So from now on, if I get asked to do something, but I say, yes, I'll do it, because I yes people all the time. You guys yes people all the time? I yes people all the time, so leave me alone, right? So, my out of integrity was, I yesed my coach. You guys yes me. None of us meant it. And this is the way life goes on the planet. I mean, we're not unusual, guys. This is happening, especially in the South, right? Everybody yeses everybody all the time. So it's now officially a verb. Yesing somebody. Yesing somebody. It's almost automatic, you know? Don't dominate me. Go ahead. Whatever you say, I'll do it. And then you just let your word be worthless. And you don't get that what's costing you is yourself. You have a weak relationship to your word. You have a weak relationship to your word, and your word is all you have. So the reason why it's the whole, is it 701? Did I attend? It's ridiculous. It's Nazis. That's what I used to always say. When I came to my seminar, those Nazis. What does it matter, right? The only way it matters is that you speak and it happens in the world. And if you don't get that word in action and honor it or keep it, then when you say it goes nowhere, like me saying. So, I'm redeclaring with you that whatever I do, I will do with love. And if I can't do with love, I won't do it. Like say no. And if I have to do it anyway, and I don't love it, I will sit there until I do love it. And I have no idea I'm going to do that. Yes,
That
Kevin.
does not work.
What?
Come on up.
It does not work to sit there until you make yourself love it.
Oh,
Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Oh, this is too
I
fun.
like the
love
first
these.
part of your sentence. If you don't do it, do it with love.
That's right.
It's like when my child would not eat, and I would say to him, okay, you're going to sit at this table, and if you are asleep at this table tomorrow morning, you will eat the same thing that you did not eat tonight. Did he eat? No.
no.
Now we got a very fat dog out of the deal. I mean, at 8, children, or 7, they know what to do,
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Yeah. So look at what you're resisting about.
experience has been
existence. That's gold. So look inside of you. Because I'm not really arguing the point. I'm just telling you what my commitment was. And I got it. You don't have the same commitment. But what was it about that triggered you?
The recollection that there are so many things in my life that I have told myself I was going to love, so that I would do it with love, and I did not convince myself.
Give me an example of one.
Well, I mean, what I deal with all the time in my time commitment, I tell people, yes, I will be there at a certain time, and Rome starts to burn 5 minutes before I walk in the door. and I'm
Circumstance, right?
I'm late, you know.
So,
It just.
right, and you don't love that. You don't
No,
love
I don't, but because I've been doing it for so long, I tell myself, it's okay. It's okay because this circumstance is different. This reason is different, and I can walk in a minute late, and so forth.
You know, if I take a pin to a balloon, does it pop? If I sit on it, does it pop?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Is there any difference between it being pop or not pop, whether it was a pin or a pop?
No, it's popped if it pops.
Right. It's popped if it pops. That's why every word out of your mouth matters. And you have underestimated your capacity to love. Do you guys get when you give your word? It's there to be honored. And yes, you're going to keep it as best you can, but it's there mostly to be honored. Do you think I'm under the slightest illusion or delusion that I'm going to be able to love or make myself love anything for the rest of my life? Of course not. When I say I'm committed to that for the rest of my life, it means I'm taking that sucker on. And probably up to the day I die, I will be dealing with it. But you see, when I take it on, I know that anything is possible based on my word in the matter. And now there's just strengthening my relationship to my word. By word, I am able to love anything. Anything. Good, bad, or ugly. You see, this is it. I'm a space, and I'm what I say. And if I have the relationship to my word that will give me the power to love anything, then I will be able to love it. Or I will have the honesty to say straight, no! And I'm taking it on. Now, I just took it on. Kind of like Vasti. What did you take on? Anything. You took on the possibility of anything. Now, that one is going to cost you a while. Pruny, come on up.
Okay.
All right, this is, now we've got dueling banjos, and these two are friends.
Yeah, I know.
Long time.
We're gonna say the same thing because Grace was here too.
Okay, go.
Direct access. Oh.
Oh.
I would agree with that.
Direct access.
That's
Okay.
true. That's
Okay.
true. You can bracket it.
Yes, you can bracket it and you can find the wonder in whatever it is. As long as you take the negative stuff, set it aside, because if somebody can have a horrible brother and have all that stuff set aside and then look at them and find out what is wonderful about this person and that take away all the things they've done and then build a relationship with it, you can find wonder in anybody, right, Grace? That's right. Yeah. So I just had to say, because we did go.
We did, and did you love it?
Loved it.
Yes, loved it. I'm so glad.
It's gonna take a while.
So it's fresh in her mind. We
Yeah.
both went. It
We
was
both
not
went,
so
and it's
fresh.
old in our mind. However, I will
Those
say,
doggone
when you-
possibilities. Fickle. Yes.
When you restated made the statements about honoring your, about declaring it.
Declare.
And honoring your word.
Right.
About taking it on in love. I totally believe that is not only possible, it's doable.
Thank you.
It was just when I heard it back there in that chair, the first thing that popped into my mind was my 7-year-old who got a giggle from that dog. It doesn't work sometimes.
And I didn't say, first of all, I'm not saying anybody else in this room is obligated to that. I just said I gave my word to that. Yes. Oh, okay, well, first of all,
What do you mean by bracketing? Because that's a term that.
all right, I'm
Yeah,
going to
that-
tell you. Since the course isn't available anymore, thoughts, please. I'm just gonna tell you, all right, now I can't
Which
give
is
you
a tragedy that's not available, but we
Okay,
can
that
finish
just
it.
consider it.
bracket.
It's a tool.
It is still available.
Oh, Colorado.
And it's available in Colorado this weekend, in Atlanta next weekend, and then New York, June 23rd and
And then you can go to
24th.
Australia.
And then there's one in August in LA,
Okay.
and then there's one somewhere else, and I can't
We
remember.
got London and Australia.
Okay, Australia. you
All of
guys,
this
come
before
on.
the end of 2012. We can still get it.
Here's the deal, to bracket is quite simply and completely to take whatever is occupying your mind and stick it in a bracket, that's why we call it bracketing. And you lift it out of your brain and you put it somewhere else. Now that's the definition, that's all there is to know about what it is, and then there's that whole world of practicing. And it's, again, it's the seminar, what did our seminar say? You got this voice in your head, and it never shuts up. And you've got to learn to distinguish you from the rest of it, okay? So I will be moving on, but I want to thank you guys so much.
Does anybody else need to sign this who may not be receiving your email? Okay?
Oh, no, thank you, actually.
Give it to Richard.
I lose my voice. So, in the world of integrity, it's a never-ending adventure. Don't take it on as bad news when your integrity's out. You're gonna have a rotten life. It's always out. Could I get some more water again? Actually, could you just give me a lot of water? Yeah, I wouldn't be able to talk. So, when I ask you to be unreasonable, what I'm looking for is something very important. Reasons are legitimate. I'm not saying they're not. But having reasons, justifications, and explanation is not the same as honoring and keeping your word. Sometimes it's easier to notice that other people's reasons and justifications seem to be nonsense. But when it's yours, they're absolutely real. There is a breakthrough available when people confront that they are honoring their reasons instead of their word. Now, I had a couple of you guys come tonight, even though you weren't feeling good. I said, you don't feel good, and you may not be able to stay. Randy was one. He says, I will at least come. Deborah Chandler's another one. She says, I'll be late, I will come. Okay? And that's why you don't want to text me, because then you'll have to guess me or something. But here's the idea. Not because you're feeling bad, I want you to come anyway. Every time you win over your reasons, you gain power. No matter what it is. And one of the biggest excuses of all time is, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. You're not your feelings. Okay? So if you're not your feelings, and you take that on, then be unreasonable about your circumstances and your feelings, and look only to your word. Look only to your word to be the source of your actions. Don't look to your past, your opinions. What have you given your word to? And then please make sure you have not given your word to something that is false to you. Because the most profound integrity of all is being true to yourself. And there are a lot of people out there who have this particular kind of integrity where you are not true to you. So you give your word, and you actually keep it or honor it, and it wasn't you. No integrity. I gave my word, I kept it. You know? No integrity. So it gets more fascinating as life goes on. Ted, you're looking like you've got a question over
It didn't make sense at all.
there. Right.
No, I'll repeat.
Right.
If you honor your word, you don't have integrity. That's
So
what
you
it is.
do.
Well,
I'm
that's
saying,
right.
if
That's
you
what
honor your word, but you're betraying yourself. There are 4 levels to integrity. This is not the integrity seminar. So I'm just going to sum it up for the purpose of this section. The most basic form of integrity, the one you get in the landmark forum walk out with, is for you to honor your word. Deeper is to keep an empowering context Most people at least have the idea of what it is to honor your word. You keep it or you clean it up, right? Keeping an empowering context, I promise you most of you don't get, but it means putting your life in a space that empowers you. Now, you all know what it's like to be around people who love you and want the best for you, and you all know what it's like to not be. When you're in an empowering context, you're living in a space that's going to support what you're up to in your own head. Okay? Now, even deeper, and I suggest you do the integrity seminar, because right now we're doing the form and action seminar. At the depths of all eternity is, are you really you? And are you really giving the word who you really are? Now that's deep. We haven't gotten to it yet, and I probably shouldn't have brought it up. I just couldn't resist. That's not true. But here's the idea. I want you to know that sometimes people spend their lives giving their word to do something that isn't who they really are. Socrates, right? To thine own self, be true. For sure. And then what was it? Shakespeare said something else. Be true to yourself, or then you cannot be false to any other man, right? As Nightfall said. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, going back to number 2, put your life in a space that works. Is that what used to be called setting up a structure for fulfillment?
No, completely different. A structure for fulfillment is actually a how-to. Step 1, step 2, step 3. I'm calling Elizabeth at 3 o'clock. Boom, structure for fulfillment. I promise you, one of the reasons I'm in your life is to be a structure for fulfillment on you guys living the distinctions of the landmark form. What's over here is someone who is reliable for holding those distinctions for you, so that you have a structure upon which to rest your being and your actions upon. Okay? That's a structure. Structure is just something you put in your calendar. It's a person who's going to hold you accountable. It would be a coach. It would be a teacher. And also, for instance, like a church. A lot of people maintain their religion. They go to church. They don't go to church. They don't. It's a structure to fulfill on what you say. Because your word all by itself, and your possibility all by itself, doesn't last too great in the world. And if you give your word to something that's not an empowering context, it's not going to stand. You've disempowered yourself. And one of the most empowering things you can take on is what you just said, Basti. I will live in an empowering context such that I will be empowered by anything that happens to me. Anything that happens to you can empower you. So obviously that's a deep thing. Right now what I really want you to get is, are you going to be someone of integrity, or are you going to be someone who is reasonable? You really might want to watch right this minute who is listening to this conversation in your head. If you're an automatic argument, you know who's listening. Your voice in your head. You could be listening to an internal conversation that says, that doesn't apply to me. I kept all my promises, or almost all of them, or any other thing. We cheat integrity, we rationalize integrity, instead of being radically authentic about it. All right? I invite you to give up any disempowering conversations you might be having, and instead listen for the possibility that this conversation can make available for you in your life. Okay, so that's pretty much where I want that to go. And I want you to have a pair share.
Number 4.
Yeah.
What was number 4 on that list?
What was 1, 2?
Honor your word. Keep an empowering context. Are you really you? And
No, are you really you? That's the deepest one.
okay, so
What would
number
be
3.
4? What would be
You said there are 4.
You know what? I'm going to have to look up the seminar. But it's definitely, there's a gap between what you give your word to, and then there's, at the very depths, are you who you really are? That's why laws can't hold you.
Say that again.
Laws can't hold you.
Laws?
Laws.